Good morning and welcome to your Bitcoin live update. Currently in a Bitcoin live trade. We're going to go over some Bitcoin news, some interesting developments happening in Bitcoin right now. Um, and then other than that, let's get into it. So looking at the charts, some levels that we always look at, right? I always like to look at the levels going on with Bitcoin right now. Right now, Bitcoin is sitting at 104,758. So not much change from yesterday. A little bit of chop, but mostly just staying in that range, as you can see here. Now, these lines that I have on the chart right now, these are very important points of control. So the daily points of control, and then you can see we have a weekly point of control right here. Now, I always like to look at the levels. I think one of the I started off trading when I started off trading in Bitcoin with Bitcoin, I was always looking at the patterns, right? I love the patterns. You got bull flags, you got triangles, you got all sorts of different things going on. You can do cup and handles, which are great. You can even see a W going on. You can even see a W going on right here. Boom, boom. W patterns, breakouts. So this did break out, but we haven't reached the full measurement because if we were going to measure this, it would be something like from here, from the bottom of the W to the top, and then the breakout, right? So for that W pattern to play out, we'd be looking at 113,000 or so. But but what I do like better than patterns, right? That's just a measured move. It's an estimate. It's not like anything concrete. It's a good estimate, but I'm more interested in the levels. I've realized as I've evolved in my trading that the levels play more of a key role than anything. And I'll tell you this right here: we have a WPOC and a daily POC. So these are points of control. These are high volume nodes. And because these two are together and they haven't been retested, they haven't been taken out, so we can expect Bitcoin, high probability that Bitcoin will come down and test these levels. But it's not a definite thing, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen. And then right now, Bitcoin's stuck in between these 2 points of controls right here. You can see this between 104 and 105. So not much action. It did dip down and then came back up. So this is the developing point of control. We don't know if that's going to last on the day. Right now we're on the daily chart, but this one up here will probably be resistance until we break through. So maybe Bitcoin is building a little momentum right now. It's going to come up and touch that point of control, and then we'll see what happens from there. But let me take these off. And so we don't need that one. That one's a little far away. Let me take the bottom one off here. Let's take this next one off. I guess we'll leave those for right now, and then always pull a volume profile. So this is what I like to do. I'm going to come from probably right here, the low, and pull it all over to the current day, its current day action. So right now we're above this point of the value area high, right? So this top line, this bottom line, that's the value area. This is where price is generally just gonna live in for a little while, right? I talked about this yesterday. Until we get the news on the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, I don't expect to see much more action outside of this range, right? I kind of expect it to hang out up here. We got to kind of see what it does, right? This area right here where it's at, it's above this value area high. And so we're looking to see what Bitcoin's going to do right now, right? It's all a game of probabilities. We don't really know what's going to happen. As far as the daily, before we zoom in, let's go on the daily here. We got money flow. Money flow, coming down ever so slowly, but that was back from its peak on November 22 of 24. So money flow has been coming down a little bit, coming down to that zero line. So we'll see what's going to happen there. But if we zoom in a little bit, I always like the 4 hour. Let's get a little bit more local. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to pull another volume profile. I'm actually going to start it from back here. And then we get more of a local range, see what's happening with the price. So we'll come all the way over. And then as you can see, more locally, right? So let's just look at this chart. I know these lines can be a little confusing, right? So let's just take these out. I'm trying to clean this up as much as possible. Right now we have the 2 daily points of control right here, and you can see Bitcoin just kind of living in this range for the past, we're on the 4 hour, so that was 4, 8, 12, broke into here about 16 hours. So it's been roughly 16 hours that Bitcoin's just been living in this range. And honestly, this is like what's been going on with Bitcoin this year. With Bitcoin this cycle, it's just it gets up to a range and it just kind of sits in that cycle. Now I have a theory about this. I think that like a lot of AI bot trading is happening in the market right now. So it's just like incremental little ups and downs, and we're not getting the volatility that we're looking for. But like I said in another video, actually yesterday, my theory on this is like we're not going to get the catalyst move. We're not going to get the volatility. Everybody's waiting on the U.S. Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Is it going to happen? Is the crypto stockpile that the U.S. is looking at right now, is it going to be Bitcoin? Is it not going to be Bitcoin? I mean, we can all assume that it's going to be Bitcoin, but we really don't know. And until that happens, we're not going to get those crazy moves and that crazy volatility. So right now, it's all about learning your technical analysis, learning your charts, and understanding. Sharpen your skills right now. It's basically what I'm doing. I look to keep this skill with me for the rest of my life. Like, I mean, thank God for the internet, thank God for crypto, and you can trade crypto, you can get in and trade crypto even with the small bankroll, small bags. If you wanted to trade in the stock market, you have to have a certain amount of money in there. You have to have a certain net worth, or at least I think you have to have like 25K to put in. With crypto, you can start trading. I mean, you can trade with as little as $5 if you wanted to. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. But not everybody has 25K to throw down on this into the stock market. And besides, I'd rather trade crypto anyways. So thank God for crypto. I'm able to trade, develop my skills, hone my skills, and do this from the comfort of my home, or wherever I may be traveling. I can take my computer with me. So it's time to sharpen your skills, get ready, learn more about crypto. The other thing I want to say about crypto too is, there's different strategies. There's the buy and hold strategy, which I love because trading can be a little bit stressful, and you have to manage your stress. And I do that by working out and reading and learning from others. But I also have my spot bags, right? So I have crypto that I'm holding on to, that I've actually been holding on to from last cycle. So it's been over 4 years I've been holding on to that crypto because I held it all the way down. I made the mistake of holding all the way down. I didn't understand the 4-year cycle. I just didn't know. And holding on to my bags all the way down to the bottom really taught me a lot about the cycles, right? So I learned a lot there. 4-year cycles. So we're in the last year of the cycle, and crypto goes, Bitcoin has 3 green years and then 1 big red year, and then 3 followed by 3 green years. So far that's been the cycle. That's the 4-year cycle. But back to the Bitcoin price. So here we are, look at this range right here from the top of 106, and then the bottom of the range is 101. Now, yes, we deviated, below the line, but that happens. But then look, it came down and it touched the yellow line right here, and that's the point of control of the larger range, right? So if we zoom out, this yellow line is the point of control. It deviated out of this local range here and touched the yellow line. So it'll happen, it'll deviate, but then it'll come back up into the range, test. Look, that was the value area high of the bigger range. I know might get a little bit confusing, but look how it touches it, comes back down, touches the value area low of the local range, right? So these are, the point I'm trying to make is like, you always have to look at these levels, right? So if we're down here, this would be a good spot for a long trade. The probabilities for a long trade are great. And this one right here, that was a great trade right there. And look, right at the bottom too. Oh wait, hold on, let me, I can't get, boy. All right, I can't get my indicators. Sometimes this happens on TradingView. Sometimes they don't work out. But so our stochastics were low right here. These are the other things we're looking for. We're looking for other signals, right? So right here, this line, it came down, it touched. Stochastic was low, and this is on the 4 hours. Great. Money flow, this is the money flow. Money flow was below the 0 line, starting to creep back up. Okay, it's finding its way. Price was going up, and yet money flow dipped a little bit, but then came up strong. Broke through the 0 line, right? This is the 0 line. Broke through, and then continued up. So now we're kind of flattening out on the money flow. On the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour, right? And then if we look, it has a high here, and then you always want to, you're looking at the high of the money flow, and then also you want to come straight up, and then you look and see where your top is there. All right, and then where's my other top? My other top's over here. So it's kind of a decrease. You can see the slight decrease in the money flow. So money flow coming down from the highs, right? So lower high. And then where were we at? We were at right here. And we're getting a little bit of a higher high. So a little bit of a mixed signal there. I mean, it's not too much deviation, so it's hard to tell. And then if we zoom into a lower time frame, try and get a better idea of what's actually happening. So that line's a little crazy. Money flow coming down, but then look at this money flow come up, right? And we're about to break through that zero line. So right here, I would say Bitcoin's building a little bit of strength. RSI as well, breaking above the zero line. Stochastics are looking high, but it could catch a wave. So we could catch a wave right here. And then Bitcoin's just in this range. It's just in this range. I do have a live trade right now. I did take a long from around this area, and I can show you that in a minute. But the other thing we want to see, right? So on the higher time frames, I'm not even going to get into lower than 1 hour, but if we turn on, oh, there we go. Okay, so I can get all that stuff. Okay, so if we turn on the ribbons, now these are some other indicators, right? I'm going to turn on my moving average ribbons, and you'll see this. And then some other things we want to pay attention to right here. Let me make sure my mic is on. Do I have the right mic on here? Cancel that. Hopefully, I think it is. Is my mic on? Yeah, it seems like it is. I think my volume's good. Yeah. Okay. So volume seems good. So here we are in the ribbon. So I want to talk about these moving averages, right? So one thing you can always see, I want to point out, is we have, this is called the golden cross. When the 21 crosses the 200 moving average, this is called the golden cross. And what you can see is a lot of times what's going to happen is you're going to see the price increase right here. When this crosses, you'll see a nice flow up, and you can see it. We went from that's when it crossed the 200, right? The price crossed the 200. But then when this cross actually happened, right, we had a low right here of 103. And then, we ride to the top over to 106. And that's $3,000. It's about, roughly 3%. 3% of the price it rose. So that's always a great spot to be. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because I think we're coming up with that. Oh, no, we're above the 200. We're above the 200 EMA on the 4 hour. So we're looking good all the way around. We're in bullish. We're above the smooth moving average. That's the blue line. We're above the smooth moving. So, things are looking a little bit bullish. We got the cross of the 21 and the 50 coming up right here on the 4 hour. But ultimately, right now, we're hitting a little bit of resistance at this point of control. Is that the local? Yeah, that's more of a local range. So that point of control right there. And we have the daily point of control here, and then another daily point of control here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see Bitcoin just kind of flip-flopping around this area. It's Friday. Expect low volume on Friday. So that's kind of the range right here. It's probably 104 to 105, and I'm not expecting too much deviation. We might come down and touch here, and then, but we also, when these kind of things happen, we have to pay attention to see what's going on with the indicators, right? And if we really want to dig into it, we can go a little bit lower. We can go down to the 15-minute and see what's going on here. Good news is we're above the moving averages, so that's bullish. A little bit far away from the 21, the white line. So I wouldn't be surprised if either we pull the 21 up or the price comes down to catch it. So either way. So that's typically what I would do. Right now we're bouncing off the 21 on the 5-minute. So that's typically what I do. I like to look at the bigger ranges and then come down a little bit lower and then see what's going on with the moving averages on the lower time frames. That usually helps. So right now we got stochastics curving up, and this is on the 5-minute. Okay, showing a little bit of strength there. RSI, we're above the zero line, crossing over the moving average ever so slightly. Can you see? Let me check my screen. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. Ever so slightly. Money flow curling up. If we break through that zero line, if we can come up through that zero line right there, we'll get a little pump. We'll get a little pump out of Bitcoin. Nothing too crazy on that one. But like I said, might get a little pump up to here, probably up to this daily point of control. We're gonna test this level. This is a key level that we have to pay attention to. We're coming to a point of resistance. You can see this kind of like flip right here. Let me take off the ribbons so we can talk about this a little bit better. So right here, on this level, let me just do this. So this level was support, right? We were bouncing on this level, bounce, 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 up, bounce, 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 drop down, drop down. So now we're in a new area here, right? So now we have, uh, you know, resistance, resistance. So right now we're at resistance, right? Can we flip this back to support? If we flip this area back to support, if we get over this line, roughly at this point of control, this yellow line, 104, 105-ish, what we have to do is get above this point of control right here, 105, 133. Then we could start to see some action. Then we could start to see a little bit of a pump. But until that happens, probably not going to see too much. All right, so that's like the big thing for today, I would say. Are we going to be able to flip this resistance into support? Are we going to be able to come back up? So that's a big thing for Bitcoin. Let's check out some other coins. Let's check out Trump coin. See what Trump coin's doing. Again, going back to what I was saying before, we're going to go to the 4-hour. I have a bunch of lines on here and stuff. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I drew that box on there. I think I was just saying we're going to be in this range. I think that's what I was trying to point out, that we could see Trump coin just kind of range here like this. And the thing is about Trump coin, there's not enough indicators going on right now, so it's really hard to see. Let's go to the 1 hour. And then what I can do is let's pull up the ribbons and kind of see what's going on with Trump coin. So right now we're on the 1 hour. Bitcoin's got to get up. If we want to see any real action, we got to get that golden cross. This white line has to move up and cross the yellow line. Let me get rid of this nonsense. So the moving averages, right? We really need the price to jump up above, we got to step up. We got to step up to over the 50 moving average. All right. And then the next move will be for price. Oops. I guess that's okay. For price to get above the yellow here. So it's looking kind of bottomy. All right. It's looking kind of bottomish. All right. I don't have any other indicators to go on right now except what we have in place right here. So Trump coin looking like at the bottom. I mean, it's starting to get a little bit of push here. Let's see what the 15 minute says. All right, so same thing, right? We need a little bit of push. It's starting to curl. The white line's starting to curl. We're starting to move up. We get above that yellow line here on the 15, and then we could see a little pump action. We could see a little pump, and that's good news. 5 minute. 5 minute has. Let me pull this up. 5 minute has crossed over the 200 moving average. We're above. The 21's gonna pull the 21 with it. Let's check the 1 minute. Looking good here as well. Flagging out on the 1 minute. We got a nice little curl on the 21. We could be ready for a little pump. We could be ready for a little pump on the Trump. Pump on the Trump. Pump on the Trump. And yes, I'm holding Trump coin. All right. Okay, moving on. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum's on the verge of a breakout. Whoa. All right, let's bring this down. So here we are. There's a cup and handle pattern going on for Ethereum. All right. Now this is kind of a big pattern. I'm going to go to the daily. All right. I know it might be hard to see with all this nonsense going on. Let's take off the ribbons. Let's clean this up a little bit. Okay. Let's go ahead and hide this volume profile for the moment. Fixed range profiles. Close that out. Oops. Yeah. So what you can see, all right, you can see this curve down. That's the cup, and then here's the handle. And so what we're looking for right now is a breakout. So if we break out, let me get this out of here because that one's invalid. So if we get this breakout here, probably pump up, probably around to this area, right? There's a little bit of liquidity. You can see how these wicks don't touch. Let me zoom in on that. There's a little bit of liquidity here. See the top of this wick, this candle wick right there, and then the bottom of this candle wick right here. There's a gap, right? They don't touch, so the tips aren't touching, and which is always a good thing. And then so we could get a pump up to here, and then we're going to see what's going to happen at this level. It could break through and then even come up to this level. I would expect it to pump up, hit one of these levels, and then come back down and retest. So let me show you what that looks like. So we're going to see probably something like this, maybe, and retest, and then up here, and then probably retest this level, and then we could start to get a breakout. Now, don't be surprised too if the price comes back and misses that test and then comes down in this area, right? This does happen a lot for a retest, and then we shoot up. All right, so Ethereum, looking at the retest right now, I mean at the breakout right now, and and yeah, so and if we do that measured move on this, we're gonna say from the bottom of the cup to top of the neckline, top of the the cup line here. So you do it something like that, and then you put from the breakout, and then we're looking for a $5,000. We're looking for a $5,000, $5,200 price on Ethereum. So we're getting the breakout. This could be the beginning of alt season. Everybody always says that like alt season doesn't start until Ethereum breaks out from its all-time high. So let's see what's happening. What's Ethereum's previous all-time high? So it could be we could be a little bit ways away, but if Ethereum starts pumping, alt season will go crazy. I'm not going to get too much into it. That's just a cup and handle pattern. Money flow coming down on the daily, which is not a terrible thing. It just means it can go up. But if we look at the 4-hour money flow coming up, the 1 hour money flow is already kind of high. RSI is kind of high. Let's see what the 8-hour looks like. Money flow coming up. It's really got to break this. We got to see something on, but it is coming up. But I want to see it break this downward trend. When the money flow breaks through this, we're at the zero line right here. That's the zero line. Once the money flow breaks through this, we could see some action. But that's really it for Ethereum right now. And let's go to Solana. Actually, what do we got for Bitcoin news? All right, so there was some stuff coming out for Bitcoin right now. We have so a couple things that I saw for Bitcoin, and let me go to my, how do I get to my bookmarks, because I had some stuff laid out here. More. Nope. I forgot how to get to my bookmarks. Bookmarks. There we go. We'll go with Bitcoin. So, here's some things on Bitcoin right now. The latest news on Bitcoin: Tether integrates USDT with Bitcoin's Lightning Network for instant payments. So I'm seeing a lot of stuff about this. This is the latest news. It's some sort of big deal. I don't really know why that's important. I'm going to look into that a little bit more. But that's happening. Other news. So Grayscale launches Bitcoin miners ETF. Gain exposure to BTC mining firms without holding crypto. So, I mean, you could do the ETF for all the miners, right? Or you could buy the miners strictly from stocks. You can buy the miner stocks. But this is good news for Bitcoin because it's just more notoriety for Bitcoin, more options for Bitcoin for people that want to invest. About an hour ago, big news in crypto. North Dakota is introducing a bill to protect Bitcoin mining rights. Will this spark more states to follow? I think so. We've been hearing a lot of news from states proposing Bitcoin strategic reserves. Some states have already bought Bitcoin. Some institutions are already doing that for retirement funds and things like that. So more and more, the fire is building, right? We're throwing wood on the fire for Bitcoin. So will Bitcoin go to those crazy levels that we want? We need more states to follow. We need more institutions to follow and start investing in Bitcoin. We need more countries to start, continue to do their own Bitcoin strategic reserve, start buying Bitcoin. These are all good things that are happening. Here we go. Arizona introduced a Bitcoin strategic reserve bill that will allow them to invest up to $12.78 billion in Bitcoin. I mean, come on, Arizona, let's go. Let's go. So some big things happening for Bitcoin. That's all I got right now. If you have any questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comments below. I will do some other videos, probably going to go live later on today. And I'll do some other videos. We'll do some Solana. I'll recap all the other coins that I didn't do in another video. Solana, Avalanche, Chainlink, XRP, right? We'll do those. So those videos are coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.